Hello, my name is Taylor, and welcome to the Atono web video help series. Today we'll be talking about customizing workflows to better suit your team's process. When we look at a team's backlog, we can see that backlog items are all organized based on these workflow steps. Every item will start in a to-do step, will work its way through some in-progress steps, and then will end in either a done or a won't-do step. We recognize that not all teams will follow this default set of steps, and so there is a way that you can customize this. If you're logged into your workspace as a team administrator or workspace administrator, you can click on the top right here to customize your workflow. So let's go ahead and do so. The first thing you'll notice is that there's 4 main categories of workflow steps: to do, in progress, done, and won't do. The to do step is unique in that you can't add any more to that category. There can only ever be one to do step. However, the rest is customizable and you can add additional steps to the in progress category, the done category, and the won't do category. The most common way that you're going to modify your workflow is by customizing that in progress category. Let's say that in addition to developing software, my organization also has a hardware integration step, but that step is missing from this workflow. I can go ahead and add it here by clicking this plus icon and adding hardware integration. So looking back at my backlog, I can see that there's a new hardware integration step that's been created that I can drag stories and bugs into. That's been added to my flow. Let's go back and see what else we can customize. So nothing wrong with this to-do step, but my organization calls it a queue. So I'm just going to rename that to reflect my organization's flow. Looking at the way these in progress steps are laid out, I'm glad that we now have a hardware integration step, but really it's supposed to happen in between that development and test phase. So I'm just going to reorder that. Lastly, we can configure certain workflow steps to be applicable to bugs or stories or both. For example, looking at this design step, it's applicable right now both to stories and bugs, but it doesn't really make sense to have a design step for bugs. I'm going to go ahead and exclude that. Now, if I go and try and drag any bug item into the design phase, I'm prevented from doing so because it just doesn't make sense for my team's workflow. Note that we've made a lot of customizations to this workflow, but there is a way for you to get back to the original default flow, and that's through this menu here. Lastly, I can mark certain steps as applicable to either bugs or stories or both. For example, I see that my design step corresponds to both stories and bugs, but it doesn't really make sense for me to have bugs in that step. I'm going to go ahead and remove bugs from this workflow step. And when I do so, I'm prompted to migrate them to another step that makes a little more sense. For now, I'm going to move bugs to development. And all items are then moved automatically to that step. With these customizations, you should be able to model your workflow based on your team's development cycle. Thanks for watching.